All right, here we are. Snap back with T-Mac, halftime edition. What an exciting start for the Tigers. Come out, come out the gate, man. You knew they were going to do something electric when BK pulled them over on the side of the road at the Buick Pontiac GMC dealership, and they did a little walkthrough. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. I mean, they had the flags in the background and a little advertisement dude waving, and we doing a walkthrough. BK got them guys. Got them woke up and got them ready to go. You know, you talk about this offense, and had a feeling that in Game 3 they were going to put it together. Jaden Daniels has just been outright electric. And the reason he's been electric is you look and he's had time in the pocket with that offensive line. Offensive line in that first half, other than a couple plays, they were picking up the blitz. Mississippi State was trying to bring the blitz, and they were bringing more guys than we had. We were getting the guys blocked up that we were supposed to. Jaden Daniels had one guy that he was hot off of, and he was able to get the ball out. What an unbelievable half. You talk about Malik Neighbors right there at the end. I think he wound up with 9 for 188, and they started talking about some of the all-time records. You look at guys, receivers that have been unreal at LSU and the resume that Neighbors is building. I mean, you look at OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Jefferson, the Jamar Chase. Well, now, and we knew that Malik Neighbors is stepping up on a national stage on ESPN, and he's doing things that's going to help his draft status down the road. Another guy that was stood out, of course, is Harold Perkins. And I think we were so frustrated in that first game against Florida State because, you know, he played that middle linebacker spot. Now you see the effect that Harold Perkins can have on a game, and he is affecting this game big time. From the first snap all the way to the right there at the last snap of that half has been unbelievable. Casey McKenzie is asking me, who's the best receiver you play with at LSU football? Man, that's a tough question. Had some guys really good guys that I play with. Larry Foster went on to play in the NFL with the Detroit Lions. Eddie Kennison was a guy that played a long, long time with Kansas City. You know, and you put me on the spot there. I know I'm missing some guys, but those are a couple guys that jump out at me. While we're talking, I want to go ahead and mention a guy, Whit Weeks. You know, he's number 40 for the Tigers. He's a freshman linebacker, and we see guys all the time that step up, and they're the next guy up for this LSU team. Whit Weeks is a guy that is getting more and more snaps every week, and he's answering the bell. So, you know, another thing we could talk about is, you know, we didn't punt the football there till the last drive, second to last drive in that first half. And when you don't run your punter out on the field, you're doing some good things on offense. So y'all let me know. Y'all think Butte will be hard for him to go get that? I'm sorry, Neighbors. It's going to be hard for him to go get Butte's record that he set the SEC record. He set the single game LSU record, 10 for 190. He may could do it, but I think in order for LSU to go close this game out, we got to get going with the running game and to finish out this thing in the second half. Somebody else sent me some questions. I'm not dealing with Casey McKenzie this whole time. Send me a question on here, something you want to see or something you want to talk about. While we were looking, I was watching the numbers that Neighbors was putting up. You look back in 1998, a guy named Tim Rattay. I know y'all know that name. Troy Edwards was a receiver at Louisiana Tech. He has the all-time NCAA single-game record with, let's see how many yards he had. 1998, he had 405, 21 catches for 405 yards. That's impressive. That's a record that will be hard to beat. Casey, I see you mentioning Josh Reed. Josh Reed, I did play with Josh Reed. I said I wasn't going to talk about no more of your questions. Josh Reed was a running back when I was at LSU, and I can remember Josh coming up to me one day in the locker room, and he was frustrated because we had some running backs. We had some really good running backs, and he was thinking about quitting. And then the next year, After I left, Josh Booty comes in, Reed goes to receiver, and the rest is history. That dude was unbelievable as the LSU Tiger and a great NFL receiver. Uh, Frank Finney is saying it's good to see Chris Hilton as part of the rotation. Absolutely. And you think about some of the things that we did. I know last week when we played Grambling, we just went out there and lit it up in the second half, in the second quarter and on to the second half, which we should have. But I think some of the things we put out there on film with our receivers is showing up on tape today. You saw earlier in the game, Thomas is out in the slot. He ran just a seam. That safety jumps the seam, and them neighbors is wide open on a deep out route. So we're putting some things together. Frazier playing a solid game today. The old line is playing well. I talked about that earlier. That old line is doing really good. You could see late in that second half, Mississippi State started trying to do some twists and some stunts up front. They had a couple plays that were effective, and they were able to get some sacks there. But other than that, we're winning our one-on-one matchups. There was just a couple line games where we had to pass off a few guys, and some guys leaked free. Braden Nelson, I see you State. Braden he's in line to be a potential son-in-law of mine, and he just dropped way down the list. He's a Mississippi State fan. I just found this out. He's saying State will come back. Y'all send Braden some messages and let him know he can go find another girlfriend, another future wife. Casey McKenzie, Sports Shorts, where you at? Casey, go get something to drink, man. Take a break, chill for a little bit. Troy Thibodeau, how about the front line protection to give Daniels the time to pick them apart? Troy, that's going to be huge in this second half. I think we got to get the running game going, but we can't completely abandon the passing game. Daniels and this receiving core, he's had all day in the pocket. Guys are, able to come free down the field. So if that's working for us, we got to stick with it. Jason Marshall, what's the latest with Sampson at receiver? Will he get any playing time this year? He got some time last week against Grambling, and it's hard for a young receiver to get in the game and make a huge impact unless they're completely comfortable with the terminology, with where they're supposed to be with hot routes and things like that. So sometimes you see a guy that's really talented and you wonder why he's not on the field. Well, there may be some other reasons. They might have to get him up to speed with the offense and make sure he's comfortable. Let's see. Be nice to my Bulldogs. Uncle Jakey's over there in Mississippi. Uncle Jakey, you need to find you another team to go with. All right, we got a question from YouTube. No, it's tough sometimes on those officials. They got to make a call with those holding calls, and I think that might be one that they missed. But you got to know as an offensive lineman when to let go, when you can get a little tug on those jerseys, and when you can keep your hands in there. Troy Thibodeau again, down with State and those cowbells. I tell y'all, that's I've always hated playing at Mississippi State. Marquise Spears was in my class, came in together at LSU, and I remember it like it was yesterday. We go to Mississippi State, and I think they're redoing the visitors' locker room. At one time, it was pink, but we go to play Mississippi State, and there are no stalls around the crappers. So it's 5 toilets in the middle of the locker room. Our training staff is over here taping ankles, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. Marquise Spears sitting in the middle taking a pregame crap, and everybody in the LSU program could see him, and he's waving like he's at a Mardi Gras parade. Just unbelievable. That's a dump, but you don't realize how loud that place gets with those cowbells, and it's really hard. I think that's one thing we've done well so far is handling that crowd noise, because that can be a problem. We had the false start early. I think we had 2 of them, but for the most part, to cancel that noise, you go make plays, and that's one thing that the Tigers have done today is they've made plays this entire game. Heidi, we got any more questions from YouTube? Chuck, bro, this is another exciting game I'm looking forward to. Colorado by 50. You know, Coach Prime has taken the college football, uh, just the whole media. He's taken everything to another level. And I tell you, he's got me. I'm excited about Colorado football. I've got a good friend of mine, Jay Feely, that I kick with and that I play with in Atlanta. He was a kicker. His son, Jace, is a kicker for Colorado. And I'm glad he's getting the opportunity to experience this. This will be something that'll go down in history, Coach Prime, and what he's doing with college football in general. He's changing the game with NIL. And, you know, what'll be interesting to me, I know people keep mentioning his name in other jobs, but my honest opinion, he's doing this because he's got two sons that are playing the game. I don't see Coach Prime, and I could be completely wrong. When his sons are done and they're all playing the NFL, I don't see Coach Prime staying in coaching. I could be wrong, but, you know, I think he's doing it because his kids are there, and, you know, I love it, though. Anyway, Corey Falcon, as a center, do you prefer shotgun or direct or, you know, under center snaps? I've done them both in my career. I hate that a lot of football has gotten away from the under center snap because they're certainly, you look in the NFL, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what they do with the quarterback sneak in short yardage situations. And I know there's high school teams and there's some college teams that I don't even know if they get under center anymore. And there's certain situations where you need your quarterback to be able to go up under center to pick up an inch or pick up a couple yards. But it's kind of the evolution of football and where we are now. Rusty Fairchild's asking the same thing. Can we get under center on short yardage? I would love it. You know, I think it needs to be a part of your offense, but when you don't rep it a lot, which they should, but when you don't rep it and 95% of your offense is out of the shotgun, you know, it could be a little scary at times, you know, because when I was in college with Herb Tyler, Jamie Howard, and those guys, 95% of our offense was from under center. We'd go shotgun every now and then, so we were used to it. We would take thousands and thousands of reps a year. So let's see, Heidi, any more questions over there? Kelly Walls, man. Marty Broussard must be sleeping. He wants to know any chance Marty Broussard, one of the self-proclaimed famous Baker Buffaloes, cooks with carrots his first SEC tailgate. I'm pretty sure if Marty Broussard is cooking, he'll have carrots in his gumbo. That's like putting tomatoes in your gumbo. That's terrible, Marty. What do y'all want to see LSU do this second half? I think we got to go out and run the football, and I would love to see us go put up a bunch of points and get some of the younger guys that got in last week given an opportunity. But it's an SEC game, and you know, you want to make sure you got it put away before the young guys get in there. Josh Starnes, I hear you, bud. How about them Wildcats? I saw y'all got a good win last night, but how about that Z, baby? Go look. We had a good team in here. One of the best D linemen I've seen in high school football. Top 26 prospects over there at St. Aug is a dude, man. Garden Ray LeBlanc. Y'all go check him out if you know him. Pee Wee LeBlanc. He's saying throw the ball to 17. Talking about the Z, that was a guy that had a great career as accurate. Chris Hilton's a great young man, great person, and he's getting more and more time in that offense, which I love to see. Brett Massengale, that man is speaking of the Z, they just rolling in right now, the voice of the Z. He says LSU needs to run the football in the second half and let some of the young guys get in. I love it. And but keep doing what's got you to this point. And there's so many holes in that secondary and what they're doing defensively. We got to keep slinging it too. I'd love to see, I think one of the storylines in the second half be interesting with him going out early, missing a few plays with the shoulder surgery with the shoulder injury, how long they keep him in the game and how severe that shoulder injury was, if it was just a little stinger or what. But he has had a heck of a game. Jaden Daniels has had a heck of a game. So it's been exciting. I hate these early morning games just because I like the build-up of a night game for the Tigers. You know, I love to cook, love to get ready, get in the mood. The good thing about one good thing about these early games is, you know, you get to watch the rest of the college football world play. Rusty Fairchild, ground and pound. Uncle Jakey, go to bed, man. Go follow Ole Miss. That's a better Mississippi team for you than these doggone Mississippi State Bulldogs. Um, now, Jamie Fortenberry, what's a lock? Game at 2:30, brother, man. I'm not big into betting. Might want to get in touch with this McKenzie guy. I think he knows a little bit about betting. Not that he's any good at it, but he might be able to tell you something. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here at this halftime with the LSU Tigers. We will come back today with this early game. We're gonna come back for a little post game talk, little recap, so everybody can join in, ask questions, give thoughts about how you think the Tigers did today. So thank you for joining us. Snapback with T-Back. If you hadn't followed our YouTube page, go out and follow us on YouTube. We're going to start putting more and more content there. But right now, at halftime, these LSU Tigers have dominated their first SEC game, and I think that we have some great things to look forward to with this LSU team. I know it didn't start how we wanted with Florida State, but, the jump, like I talked about earlier, from game 2 to game 3, you start to see who you really are as a team. And I love what I'm seeing for these LSU Tigers. Snap back with T-Mac halftime edition. Y'all come back for the post game. We'll go on right after the buzzer sounds at the end of this football game. We'll probably go for 30, 45 minutes. So make sure you tune in. Snap back with T-Mac. We out.